Prices aren't that bad at that time. So overall, I'd say fall is probably the best time to go. When you're in Japan, there are some foods that you definitely have to try. Obviously ramen. What kind of ramen? Well, it depends on what you like, right? Because there are a gazillion different types of ramen. Miso ramen is my favorite. If you've ever tried miso soup before, you may kind of know what the flavor is. If you don't like the miso flavor though, I really don't think you're going to taste it in the miso ramen very strongly. It's only enough so that it becomes very savory. It's not necessarily just straight up a miso soup taste. Miso ramen has a special savory quality to it. Sometimes they make it with butter and corn. What if I like spicy? Well, thankfully at most ramen places they actually have some good spice that you can add in yourself, or they have a spicy option. You see, in Japan they actually have sort of vending machine ticket contraptions that will give you a ticket like a vending machine. You basically look at it, you choose which ramen you want, you click it, you put in the money, and it gives you a ticket like a vending machine. They usually have like a spicy version of their signature ramen. Miso ramen is best, I know, right? Tonkatsu is also very popular. I feel like tonkatsu is really good in Kyushu, which is the very, very western part of Japan. Kagoshima, Nagasaki, Fukuoka. Yeah, a lot of ramen shops, they don't really have a gazillion different menu options, which I notice is a big kind of difference from America, is that I feel like in America, we really love to have a gazillion options on the menu, just in case somebody wants whatever, right? But in Japan, they're just kind of like, nope, this is what we make. If you want it, come here to get it, and that's it. I'd say shio ramen, which is salt ramen, and shoyu ramen, which is soy sauce ramen, are sort of the more like light versions. If you want something that's heavier and more on the rich side, I'd say tonkatsu or miso ramen are the ones to check out. I'm not the biggest fan of tonkatsu ramen, just because especially when you walk around those ramen shops, you'll know it's tonkatsu ramen because it kind of smells funny. You know, because they're boiling the pork bone. I wasn't the biggest fan of shio ramen in the past, but I've grown to like it, especially ebi shio, which is with little shrimpies. Tastes good. I recommend. And then of course, tsukemen is the version of ramen where you dip the noodles into the broth. I'd say ramen slash tsukemen and udon. You want to try all those noodles. Don't forget soba either. Soba is more on the healthy side. If you're really like okay with having like something that's on the more healthy side, I really recommend soba with tempura. And they make all kinds of things into tempura, like jumbo shrimp, vegetables too. I personally don't view tempura as the most healthy option, but if you're going to choose between ramen and then soba with tempura, and you want to be healthy, go with soba with tempura. It's also extremely classic, very, very Japanese. Tonkatsu DJ Agetaro. Tonkatsu, which sounds very suspiciously close to tonkotsu, but no relation. Tonkatsu is basically it's the sliced up breaded meat that you may have seen in various places. You eat it with cabbage, with some rice, put some yummy tonkatsu sauce on it. You can get roast, which includes a bit of fat on the end. A lot of Japanese people enjoy eating the type that has like a little bit of fat. I personally order filet, the hirekatsu, which is no fat. I don't like eating that. My American ass is not used to eating just straight up like this is the fat of the animal. And especially there's something about eating it with the saku-saku cabbage. It just goes together so perfectly. Whoever in Japan thought of eating the saku-saku cabbage along with tonkatsu is a genius. I don't want to say oily, but like more rich and flavorful meat, breaded meat, along with the crunchy and refreshing cabbage that works so well. What else would I recommend that you must try? Yaki Niku. The name itself directly translates to yaki, being grilled, and niku, which is meat, right? And you basically do it yourself, unless you go to a really, really high-class place where they're like, no, we insist, we'll do it for you. And it's a really nice thing to do with friends. You can get various things. Like I always recommend trying out tongue. I think a lot of people are like, ooh, tongue, that's yucky, gross, but it's really not. It's not like what you think it is. It's not just like they cut off the tongue and just slap it on the grill. It's not like that. It's like they slice it up very like thinly, sort of. It's really quite tasty. It doesn't taste gamey or gross or anything. I really recommend trying it once if you've never tried it before. You might be surprised. It's not chewy, the texture is good. Indulge in like a really high quality steak that just melts in your mouth. I mean, tongue isn't just gonna melt in your mouth, but it's not like you're eating horomon, right? Horomon is stuff on the menu that's sort of more organ-like parts of the animal. They're very fatty, and those are extremely chewy. You really can't get a bite out of those. I never order that. However, there are a lot of choices like, just regular roast, or I would say if you're more on like the non-adventurous side, I'd recommend looking for something called jorosu, which is the higher level roast, higher level red meat. And also they might have hire, which is fillet, right? I'd say you get jotang, which is the higher up tongue. Jo meaning like higher class, like it's higher quality. Now harami tastes to me just like regular red meat. So I'd recommend getting harami, even though it's technically an organ, and then karubi as well. Jo karubi. What about Jingus Gong? So that's definitely something you should try out in Hokkaido. Not really my taste personally, but also said to be quite delicious. If you go to any konbini, which is a convenience store, if you go to any of those and just open up the ice cream freezer, you're going to find something interesting and yummy. But depending upon the restaurant that you go to, some places, I feel like they like to really show off the more like Japanese dessert side, depending on where you go. I've seen a lot of places that have great matcha ice cream, which is very usually you get like some tea with mochi, some Japanese sweets, wagashi. And konbini ice cream is sick. Yeah, when in doubt, if you're really looking for something on the go to the convenience store. It's not like the 7-Eleven in America, where things are kind of inedible. No. Konbini is full of edible things that will make you very happy. Yaki Niku is a great thing to do with friends, and usually a lot of places have nomi hodai, which is all you can drink. So just gather the beers around, grill some meat with your friends, and just have the most fantastic time. It's really a great thing to indulge in with your friends and large groups of people. If you're in Osaka, Okonomiyaki. And they have many different kinds too. In fact, Hiroshima has their own special kind of okonomiyaki as well. Some of them are a little more focused on having cabbage, some of them have noodles in them. It really just depends on where you are, and that's something really awesome about Japan, is that even though very distinct different places with their different types of food and specialties, you can find a lot of the same dishes that have their own spin depending upon where you go, right? I went to Kumamoto once, and I went to this cute old lady's okonomiyaki restaurant, and she had her own special okonomiyaki that she said was, just a Kumamoto special. Additionally, there's a great crab restaurant in Osaka. If you're in Dotonbori, which is the place that is described as the kitchen of Japan, they have every kind of food that you could ever dream of in Japan that you would want to try and eat, right? There's like a big crab sign that's moving. You can go to that restaurant and they have delicious crab courses, but you're going to need to reserve in advance. Now, you'd be surprised, a lot of these they actually might have an English like table check or something like that. But takoyaki, interestingly enough, is better enjoyed on the street. You'd be surprised what kind of food stalls you can find selling takoyaki, and they're just delicious. Just walking down the street, It is street food after all. I have been to Dotonbori. It's one of the best places on earth. I have to agree with you, my good man. Anything you could ever want to eat. And even if you're somebody that doesn't really want to try Japanese food and would rather stick to something more on the Western side, you'll still find Western restaurants there. You can find anything you want. And they're very friendly too. Run by a lot of older folk, etc. Is Burger King better than the US Burger King? All of the fast food restaurants are better, in my opinion, in Japan, simply because, the quality is just better. Things are cleaner, things are presented nicer. It may still be the same ingredients, but it feels like it was made by somebody who cared about their job and not losing it. So, that's why I would say, maybe try a fast food restaurant once, if you're coming to visit Japan, just to see how it's different. Let me see, what else would I recommend that you try? I feel like convenience store food is not really like a straight recommendation. It's just an offhanded comment of mine that you should go give it a try. When you're walking around, your feet are getting tired and you're like, I want to sit somewhere and enjoy a nice snack. You'd be surprised. Just open up your little phone, find a convenience store next to it, go grab a croquet or like some famichiki, just Family Mart chicken. You can even grab a beer if you want. You can walk around and drink alcohol as you please in Japan. Take it to the park, where there are children playing. No one freaking cares. Enjoy your brewski, eat a croquet, just live your Gaikokujin life. There's this weird rivalry between convenience stores too. I feel there's Family Mart, Lawson, 7-Eleven are constantly at arms with each other. And then there's the less mini stop that's like, hey guys, I'm here for the fight too. And those three titans are like, nah, shut up. Don't worry too much about which one you choose, but the hot stuff that you buy at the different places will be different depending upon where you choose. In terms of the place with the best warm food to eat, I think that I would rank it Family Mart number 1, Lawson number 2, 7-Eleven number 3. But it really depends. It depends on when you go. Have they been stocking their food? Is it late at night? Because late at night they turn off the ovens. You can't get the delicious warm things. Oh, but you know what's really nice? If you go during wintertime, they serve oden. Here, I'm gonna put oden on here because it's just that good. So oden, how do I even describe oden? I feel like I'm not gonna describe it in a way that sounds appetizing. Oden is a type of nabemono, of course. It's kind of like a hot pot sort of thing. Japanese one-pot dish, consisting of several ingredients such as boiled eggs, daikon, konjac, and fish cake. And perfect for winter time as well. It just makes you feel so warm inside, and they sell it at convenience stores for a nice price. So, I mean, honestly, you're getting a full meal there for a great price, and you don't have to go to a restaurant. It's really amazing. Japan does some international food really good. They can't make sandwiches to save their lives. That's the only thing that I will say about Japanese food. I've never had a good sandwich in Japan, but I have high expectations as a big fan of sub sandwiches. Pizza is okay. It's not like the States. And they have a bunch of different flavors. They have like corn on their pizza in Japan, interestingly enough. And pizza is very, very, very expensive. If you get like a large in America, right? That's maybe like $20-ish. No. Your medium pizza in Japan is gonna cost you about $30. Pizza is like a fancy dish in Japan. I say fancy, maybe not fancy. It's expensive. See, that's why I recommend you go out and get some ramen. Get some ramen that's gonna cost you $8. Huge bowl of delicious noodles, vegetables, pork, soft-boiled egg, incredible rich flavor that you can only taste in Japan. Yeah, just forget the pizza. Just go get ramen. Just get the things on this list. I'm trying to think what else I would recommend. Sushi, duh. I feel like sushi might be like the first thing that everybody recommends. In America, a lot of people have kind of learned to see sushi as like just this kind of, oh yeah, whatever, cool Japanese food, like just go out anytime, enjoy casually. But the truth is, sushi in Japan, unless it's conveyor belt sushi, it's really more on the same level as like a fancy steak dinner. So if you want like really good sushi, be prepared to pay a lot of money and make reservations in advance. But yeah, I recommend that if you want to have one night to get sushi, maybe you should have like a day where you enjoy some conveyor belt sushi for lunch, because that's really quite fun. That's like a very fun, authentically Japanese experience where you still get to try some decently good sushi. And no matter what, even if it's conveyor belt, it's still going to be better than America. So conveyor belt is quality for cheap, definitely. I agree 100% with that. I'd say it's some of the more high quality food that you can get for cheap in Japan. Somebody mentioned on Twitter that